I did just want to talk a little bit about the governor's announcement on Friday. We had, in public health, we had a few calls prior to the announcement, but without any of the documentation, and a lot of things were changing up until the very end. So really, we got to see all the documents that the state released at the same time everyone else did. And so we've been looking at those over the course of the weekend and early today as well. And we do think that it's welcome for Humboldt, and again, the idea of being able to have locally driven decisions is a good one and will help us in the long run. So we welcome that. I think the framework is helpful in that it really, rather than talking about things being open or closed per se, talks about ways we can modify business settings so that they may remain open, if at all possible, and just use things like reduced capacity or a little change in venue to be able to have them open. So I think it's going to help us, I think, moving forward. It's just a big shift for all of us to move there. I do want to point out, though, that there are a few businesses who are a little bit more vulnerable to the change, in the sense that, as the governor noticed and as the website noted, we look at both our positivity rate and our positivity percentage, and then we also look at our now a 7-day average positive cases per day with a 7-day lag. So it's a little different calculation than we've been using to look at this data before. We could have had a number up to 4 and be in, or 3.9 and be in the orange level. A 4 would have put us in red in the next level. So we're in a good spot to be in orange, but we don't have a long way to go to be in the red. And the businesses where I think that's really important to pay attention to that are the ones that actually would need to cease operation if we move into the red. So for example, bars, breweries, and distilleries in the red tier, as I understand it from the governor's framework, would be closed. And also family entertainment centers would be outdoor only. And so it's going to be important for some of these entities to realize that the situation on the ground may change and that it would have a particular impact for them. Whereas another business might be able to simply reduce capacity a bit more, that would not be an option. So I want businesses to be able to plan about pulling back staff and setting up and all of that. We will keep the community apprised of our numbers. The state will be looking at the numbers every Tuesday and releasing those. And so, we'll try and help people plan as best we can. Our Joint Information Center has been looking at the state documents. Those businesses that have already applied for opening under those guidances do not need to resubmit an entirely new application. But the JIC will be sort of reaching out to the approved businesses to make sure they have access to the newest information. For the most part, this is going to lessen some restrictions. For instance, dining can move indoors at a lower capacity, but for some it actually increases the restrictions. Fitness facilities, for instance, have to be at 25% occupancy, and that's a change. So it's going to be really important for every business to go online. Particularly, I would recommend going to our Joint Information Center and getting the updated guidance for their sector so they make sure they're compliant with this plan. If everyone is compliant with this and does all those other things that we're looking for, the masking and distancing, not gathering, then hopefully we can ride in this level or better and not have to move up. But I think it has to be on everyone's radar going forward.